It's a little later, much later today. Um, I had a later walk with Mocha and Misty. She had tutoring sessions for her American Sign Language classes. She was the 2T, I guess. Um, in the tutoring process, she was getting some extra help. Always good. And it's getting near crunch time, the end of the semester. So finals coming up. It helps to um, get that in there. So she had that this morning. So our normal walk time was pushed back. I still went out for an easy run after my burpee session, and then I did an easier walk. Her and I and Misty, enjoying ourselves um, and the birds, lots of squirrels, ducks, and geese, and most of all, well, we enjoy all that. Seeing other people with their dogs, um, getting to know them. I'm not the most social person. An odd thing to say, since I come here and I talk to whoever shows up for um, minutes on end, if not an hour on occasion. But and I'm always friendly. I just I don't go out of my way to interact or engage with people. But when it happens, I generally enjoy it. So we are in the second day of December. Christmas season is here, and the day is fast approaching. As a kid, it seemed to take forever to get here. Now it just seems to come quicker every year. And of course, it lasts longer. You start seeing Christmas ads at Halloween for a reason. It's not to celebrate the season, it's for profit. Now, I'm not going to give a spiel against anyone making a profit. It's how we get by in life, most especially in America. And it's perfectly fine to make a profit. It's tiresome, however, to always have those materialistic goals thrown at us as if that is the end all be all of life. And many people approach it that way, and they miss so much. They miss the sound of their songbirds on a walk because they head somewhere else. They miss engaging with other people and their dogs. Um, they miss the uh, essence of the holiday season, which is, as I've talked about before, the essence of the season is immaterial. It's not based on objects. It's not based on anything that we can hold. Um, our friend Richard Runs Trails is here. Happy Saturday, Eric. Thank you. You as well. And our friend Destiny Forever Walks PhD is here. Hello and happy Saturday, Eric. Thank you and happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday to you both. Um, I'm once again talking about Christmas, the Christmas season. It's never been my holiday, even as a kid. You know what? And I had great parents. They made Christmas worthwhile. I went to a Catholic school, and Christmas was presented as one of the holiest days of the year. Although by rights, the holiest day really should be Easter, as that's the basis of Christianity. It's amazing. A whole lot of other gods were born on um, Christmas or right around Christmas, December 25th. And so it's a popular holiday. However, the resurrection, the resurrection presented in Christianity seems to be unique, although, again, there have been other uh, religious traditions, spiritual traditions of someone rising and coming back. But that's not what I want to talk about. Not too much. Um, what I want to talk about is either of those days, if they are holy, they should be treated as such. Instead, um, it's an occasion to buy, and it's all about profit margin. When we turn on the news after Christmas, we will hear how um, sales went up, how retail was booming or retail was bust or whatever, as if that is the basis of how we measure the holiday season. Um, Richard says, what is the reason Hanukkah is celebrated by Jewish, uh, but they are also Christians? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand the question. Who is it that are Christians? So maybe a little clarity on that. Hanukkah seems to be more keeping with the spirit of the tradition, of their tradition. Um, Destiny says, born on December 25th. There's a lot of gods born on this day. It gives me a little something to think about. It actually does. And there's a reason that this day was picked. Historically, they say that Jesus was actually born, I think, in July. Um, but the popularity of Yule um, in the pagan tradition, when Christmas was spreading through Europe at the time, it was easier. Same with Easter when it was picked. It was after one of the Roman gods, Eureka, which is the god of the bulls, I believe. I could have this mistaken. So they incorporated um, these Christian holidays with the pagan holidays to make it a little more seamless, a little easier for people to continue that celebration. Lewis is here. It is what it is. Saying hi to Richard, asking about his leg. Richard is recuperating from hamstring surgery. He's getting a bionic hamstring that is going to be more powerful than ever before. I think it's going to help him on those steep climbs at Western State. He's 9 days. Richard says he's mending now, 9 days past surgery. And Lewis is asking for some details of how it happened, which is quite a story, actually. Although from what Richard tells, it was probably a process, racing and training, little minor issues escalating to the point when he took a fall. That's when everything came to a head, which, something to think about, being mindful, especially, I think about little niggling pains that I have now to make sure that I address them. So it serves as a good reminder. I know Richard wouldn't mind that if others can benefit from his own mishap by being more mindful of what might be leading towards an injury. I think that's the whole point of our channels for all of us, is that we are hoping others will benefit in some way of what we put out there, for the good or the bad, for that matter. Richard says he is hoping for that $6 million leg. You said that your doctor said it could possibly be stronger than it was before. You might have to get the other one done just to keep even. You'll be the only person hopping up the mountains at Western State. Richard says, I think it was slightly torn and I didn't know it. Then he took a very bad fall. And he says, yes, that is for sure. Don't ignore the pain. Pain's feedback. It's not good or bad. We take it as, ow, it hurts, obviously. But that doesn't make it bad. That means it's telling us something. And I am one to ignore pain, and I need to be better at that. So again, I take the lesson from Richard, and I appreciate it quite a bit. And Richard says, and I agree 100%, the challenge is once older, everything's always hurting a little. Yes. For me, knees, shoulder, and now the wrist. now my back. Um, so yeah, you gotta be mindful. You gotta find what works. You gotta navigate. That's the thing about aging. It's all about navigating. Still doing the things that you love, but finding the ways to continue. It is what it is. Says that he'll be 40 on the 17th this month. Happy early birthday. I'm sure I'll get an opportunity to chat before then, but it's never too early to wish somebody a happy birthday. Um, and he says he's noticing that more, Richard. You know what, though? Your 40s, you're still good. You take care of yourself. So, you know, the 40s, you're still going to be golden. Although, you know what I do wonder, Lewis? Um, if it is going to end up being harder and harder to lose the weight after your layoff as you get older, that maybe, you know, maybe it'll be something to consider as you get up there. Or you might just have to work harder. Lewis says, yeah, look at Uncle Burpees doing crazy numbers, and he's in his late 50s. I think he might be a year or two younger than me. I am 58. I know Richard is 56, I believe. I didn't finish my first 100 after 3 previous attempts until it was 2 weeks after my 50th birthday. And then I came back to the same race and finished it again the following year. I got my second buckle 2 weeks after DNF at Umstead at the 79-mile mark because Mocha had some problems, and the race director called me off course. And after talking to Mocha and talking to the race director, so for family reasons, I decided it was best for me to withdraw. And then I was unhappy with that because I felt in such good shape to finish, to get my second buckle at Umstead, that I went back to C&O Canal 2 weeks later and got my second buckle there. Both times it was raining and snowing, miserable conditions. It is what it is, says, yes, Eric, you're correct. I was thinking that I might do something different at the end of next year layoff. Yeah, see, judge it by how well you come off of this layoff. If it's as easy, if it's as seamless, or if you struggle more, and then, you make those adjustments. Richard says that, yes, weight has something to do with it. He's 205, 210. Unk is much lighter. Richard, what do you think your optimum ultra running weight would be? Lewis says, yeah, Unk don't run. Yeah, he's been a big inspiration for me as I hit 700. I'm like, I think 705 days of straight burpees today. And I think of those guys, him, Burpees King, in the thousands. Lewis says that he thinks he's not going to eat the crap food anymore. Or, a cheat day once a month. I don't veer from my diet. My diet serves me very well. Trial and error of getting it dialed in just right. If something were to come up, some kind of function, maybe I would. More than likely, I would skip the function. I'm more likely to skip a function than I am to break out of my routine. But obviously, I have some deep-seated issues, as you guys can probably tell. Richard Ranchero says maybe 190 in answer to the question about weight. Yeah, that's a good weight for you. How tall are you? Because you're solid. You're you got a good build. You got a lot of muscle on you. Wow. This says that he's 190. Um, what was your starting weight? You were like 160, right? That's a big layoff. I've been as heavy as 220 when I was powerlifting. And unfortunately, I gained weight to be a stronger powerlifter, and I was still a lousy powerlifter. Um, it just didn't make sense for me to continue trying to get stronger by pushing my weight, because I would be going up against people who were stronger still at that same weight. Um, so I opted in the other direction at that point. I also switched my diet, and a lot of the weight just started coming off. A lot of weight started coming off when I got serious about meditating in the early 90s, because it was as if I was carrying some armor to shield me against the world. And meditation made me open and accepting my vulnerabilities, so that I no longer needed to have that shield. I no longer needed to keep people at length as much. Richard said he's 5'11". So at 5'11", 190, that's a solid, even with that weight loss, you're still a solid compact guy. Lewis says that Richard's got them tree trunk. Yeah, he's thick. And Lewis says, yes, he was 160 when he started. So a 30-pound gain in a relatively short amount of time. That's serious commitment to your eating practice. Serious as well to your wife's cooking. Hats off to her. Richard is asking, which do you like best, squat, bench, or deadlift? I was pretty good at squats. I like deadlifts. I started deadlifting when I was a freshman in high school. And I remember deadlifting 315 at a body weight of 120. I was trying out for the JV wrestling team at a Catholic high school that was famous for the wrestlers. I did not make it. I made the freshman sophomore team. And it's actually then that I got hooked on more bodybuilding training and powerlifting training. I liked deadlifts. I was really good at squats. I wasn't good at bench, although I felt like I was built for bench. It was just never a super strong exercise. For me to get over 300 pounds, I had to bulk up to 220. So I benched 300 plus competition style. However, it still wasn't that good of a bench at my body weight. It was gym strong. It wasn't competition strong. Powerlifting wasn't going to be my sport. I did like it. I shifted more into Olympic weightlifting, which I loved, absolutely loved the explosiveness of it. I wasn't super great at that either, but it didn't matter. I didn't plan on competing in Olympic lifting, but I just wanted to do it, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Lewis says, I'm telling you, Eric, I'm a fat kid inside. It's good to have a fat kid inside, as long as you don't let him play outside too much and too often. Richard says, I heard the challenge is to be good at all three to get a good total score. For some, if you want to win a title, yes. Although some, are moderately good, and by moderately good, I mean they blow up, mortals like us out of the water in squat and bench, and then they have these monster pulls, and they make up for any deficit. So if you can place in the top 5, let's say on your squat, and your top 5 on your bench, then you're a league of your own on deadlifts, you can still win a title. Not everyone. Some people are better at squats, some at bench. The problem is with bench, the jumps aren't as high as they might be in deadlifts. You could have a 100-pound deadlift over your competition, Well, in bench, it's usually 20, 30 pounds, something along those lines. Um, some people are specialists. They just do token lifts on the squat and the deadlift, and they're specialists in the bench or specialists on deadlift. Um, I think it all depends on your strength. I always like the people that were very scientific and tried to get that title by doing what Richard said, to get the best total by being really good, maybe not superior, but really good in all three. Um, that seems to be the challenge for sure. Richard says he saw a video that said only 7 people have benched over 700 pounds without a special suit. It seems the limit of humans. 700 pounds without a shirt is still pretty phenomenal. I'm not going to, I don't like the shirts, but you know what? I'm not a power lifter. I'm not a power lifter anymore, and I wasn't a good one when I was. Um, so it's a whole nother sport with the equipment like that. I've heard it takes 300 pounds, and you see some people in bench competitions struggling to bring the bar down because that shirt is so tight, so compact. Everything is pressed so up front that it takes a lot of strength just to pull it down. Destiny says that you guys are so into and serious about your fitness. It makes me feel pretty proud to sit amongst you. Such great competitors. I love listening to all your stories. Fitness is the key. Fitness is the key to enjoying your life, I think. To fully enjoy your life, if possible. I know people, who aren't able to do the things and they still enjoy their life. So I don't want to make that seem like you have to do things in order to. But I think if you're capable of it, if you're given a gift of motion, and it truly is a gift, and it's a gift that you can lose. And I think that as we get older and we face that, we cherish it even more. And in cherishing it, we need to take care of it. Can't take it for granted. I don't take for granted the fact that I'm doing burpees every single day. And I don't know if I'll make it to the 1,000-day mark. I'm not planning on it. I'm also not planning on it. I just do burpees one day at a time. I wake up and I ask myself, do I want to do burpees? And for 700 and some days, the answer has been yes. If I wake up and the answer is no, I won't do burpees. Um, I'm not someone who believes in the, if you don't want to do something, do it anyway. I don't think I am. I generally love. That's why I tell people all the time that I'm not the most disciplined person that you'll meet on YouTube. However, my retentive patterns seem to point otherwise. That I don't miss a day meditating twice a day. I don't miss a day doing yoga. I don't miss a day eating virtually the same thing every single day. I don't miss a day of writing. I haven't missed a day of writing in 25 years. I make a video every single day since I started doing them. So people are like, yeah, that's pretty disciplined. Except if I ever woke up and didn't feel like it, I wouldn't force myself to do any of that stuff. I'm absolutely in love with everything that I do. And I try to put that out there, that it's good to be disciplined if you are. I'm not 100% sure that you can develop it. I think sometimes we either are or we aren't. I'm fortunate that I was blessed with 2 things. Not a whole lot of talent. Obviously, not a full head of hair. Obviously, I'm not the most engaging speaker. But I was blessed with enthusiasm and curiosity. And that I'm curious about a whole lot of things. And when it captures my attention, I'm all in, whether I'm good at it or not. I just can't get enough of it. and I can do it every day. And my enthusiasm doesn't really wane. It just seems to keep going on. I love the things that I do. Richard says, I like your treadmill videos. They are very creative and happy. That's what I say, Richard. She spreads joy. That I love seeing what she does. I love the joy that she brings to it, and it's infectious. Lewis says, when I say YouTube in the mornings, Destiny pops up first and cheers me up with her positivity. That's what it's all about. That's why we do the things that we do. Lewis, it was the same seeing your videos. You know, I knew you were going to put in the work. Richard, I always learn something. Every time I click on his things, I always learn something. I only wish that I had seen his videos when I was doing ultras, because I would have learned how to pack a proper drop bag instead of just throwing stuff in my bag and then tearing through it at the aid station and then curse myself for forgetting to put something important in, or holding something up and thinking, why did I ever think I needed this? But, you know, Richard says, I think you're a creative speaker. Thank you. It reminds me of Max, which is a good speaker. Max is a very good speaker, so I appreciate that. Of course, Max is a teacher, so he's up in front of a classroom. Lots of practice. This is my practice, doing it every day. When I started, when I had to make some videos for my meditation teaching certification, Milka would point the camera at me and I couldn't get 2 words out of my mouth without messing up completely. And I thought, there's no way I could do this. And yet, when I started making burpee videos and talking afterwards, I found myself talking nonstop, all kinds of stuff just spilling out. It's just a whole different thing. Richard says, kind of like a professor. Destiny says, thanks, Richard. That's the energy and joy that drives me down the road of fitness. Just simple workouts. Not a fitness buff yet. I don't know. What would constitute a fitness buff? Someone who shows up, puts in the work, enjoys it, has fun, and spreads a positive message. That sounds to me like you might be a fitness buff. Richard says, thanks that he learned the hard way and still learning new things. I kept making the same mistakes with my drop bags. I kept packing things I didn't need because I'd think, I wonder if I will need this. Always thinking it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. My first 100, and it ended up snowing, and it was late April. Freezing rain, snow, and I forgot to pack long pants. I remember pulling them out, thinking I might need them, and I forgot to pack them. My part of my crew, one of my pacers, called in and said somebody's going to need to bring some long pants for Eric because he's freezing. And of course, the pants that they brought was from a friend who weighed maybe 260 pounds. So they did not do me much good, except for maybe offering some wind resistance if I decided to use them. Richard says, I think the more we do videos, the better we get. I think the case with most people. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think sometimes it's easier than others for me. That a lot of times I'll come here with a topic and it can run kind of dry for me. It feels kind of dry. And then other times I'll hit upon something and it ends up feeling very inspired. Those are the sessions that I like most of all. And you can't count on them. You can't train for them. You can't practice for them. All you can do is be open for that experience of inspired speaking. We never know. Inspiration is always available, but we never know when it's going to tap us on the shoulder and say, talk. Destiny says that, thanks, Eric. You always inspire and you're so real. Keep me accountable. Well, thank you for that. And I'm glad you said that. It's important for me to just put myself out there, warts and all. Um, Making mistakes, stumbling over words, you know, not to co-opt Lewis's name, but it is what it is. Do your best. So, guys, we're going to end it for the day. It's coming up not too much on 2:30. We talked about half an hour. Um, Actually, some of my favorite talks are coming here and finding people like Richard and Destiny and Lewis and just batting things around, whatever comes up. That, I started off on a topic talking about the holiday season and felt like it was going to lead to dealing with the holiday stress. And it ended up being all over the map. But I think we covered some important things, some fun things, meaningful things to all of us at the very least. And that's pretty cool. So thank you all for showing up. Destiny, Lewis, and Richard, very much appreciated. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for Burpees. Take care.